Hello everybody, welcome to this week's installment of Layman's View, where we review a week that was here on podcast radio and stuff. I'm Ntobeko Khuluse. It's a very cold weekend. It's a very, very cold weekend in many parts of the country. I hope wherever you are safe and warm. Please keep warm. Don't go anywhere if you don't need to go unless you absolutely have to go. We've seen many warnings, weather warnings, to say be safe. Just be safe. Make sure that, if you travel, it's only because you absolutely have to. But if you don't have to, stay at home. Because, it's bad. It's bad out there. It's not only cold, it's raining as well. Let's be safe, people. I hope those who have withdrew their two-pot system money, will just stay at home and enjoy their money. How is that coming along? Have you received your two-pot system money? Please do share with me. I'd love to know that to those who withdrew their 10%. Because where you can withdraw up to 30,000 rands. So if you go to Sui withdraw mali yako, please go ahead in the comment section and share with me how that is coming along. Why did you withdraw your money? Was it because of an emergency? Or it was just because times are tough? You need money. So I'd love to know those thoughts around two-pot system. How is that money coming along? Have you finished it? I know that some people have started receiving their monies. So maybe you finished it. But how did you spend it? Please go ahead and share. Now let's look at what stories stood out for me this week. Because this is what this section is about. We review a week that was. And undoubtedly one of the biggest stories has to be the sending off of the former minister Pravin Gordhan. If you watched last week's Layman's View with Ntobeko, he touched on the legacy of Pravin Gordhan, how many people are singing his praises while other people were saying, nah, not really, he's not a hero. But this week, we saw Pravin Gordhan on Thursday being laid to rest. He was given an official special funeral by the president, Cyril Ramaphosa. I think it was category 2. So in all of that, we saw a grieving wife of former minister Pravin Gordhan, that is Vinitha Ranju. We saw his daughters, Anisha and Priyisha, walking there and actually even giving speeches. It was a beautiful send-off, celebration of life that he lived. Because you saw many people speak there who believed in what Pravin Gordhan stood for, and who believed that Pravin Gordhan was a fighter, who fought during apartheid for us to be liberated as South Africa, who was an excellent administrator, and they attribute this to when he was a commissioner at SARS, that he was the commissioner that actually made SARS a top functioning institution that it is today. And then he moved on to be a Minister of Finance, Cocta, and some are saying he was really outstanding in those roles. And then also when he became the Minister of State Enterprise, some are saying he didn't do so well. Some are saying he did well, still fighting off state capture. That's what some of the people that were speaking in his funeral, if you look at what ABC Jonas, said, look at the likes of Fikile Mbalula, Mac Maharaj, even former Chief Justice Raymond Zondo spoke in his funeral. But the speech that caught my attention has to be the one by Anisha Gordhan, his daughter, where Anisha said, and amongst other things, I thank you for celebrating my father. He loved his country and its people. Anisha went on and asked South Africans to picture a South Africa where the cost of bread is 200 rands, where billions of dollars have been paid to Russia for failed nuclear program, where access to clean water is limited to a bucket per household per day, where load shedding it lasts for days. And Anisha went on to say, and I quote, "We were very close to this, but this man, our father, one of the few honest souls that saved its people and our beautiful country from the brink of collapse." So that was, unquote, that was the speech, well, part of the speech that Anisha told in her father's funeral. A moving speech indeed, and which was warmly received by those who were there, who obviously agreed with what she was saying. Even the president, Cyril Ramaphosa, you know, gave a eulogy there, and he sang praises of the former minister, Pravin Gordhan. So there were a lot of people in that funeral, and I'm sure even some were not in the funeral, that were celebrating the life of Pravin Gordhan, and who saw his contribution as one that was invaluable. Like, you can't put a value to it because it was that massive in this country, pre-democracy, even after democracy, when he was in government. But not everyone was agreeing with this, and you will know this because there were people, even after he had just passed on, that were not as, you know, were not singing his praises. And EFF is one of those. Jimmy Mania, remember, he didn't have great things to say as well. So with, as the funeral was happening, Julius Malema was tweeting, and he tweeted the funeral of the late Winnie Madikizela Mandela. And this is how he captioned that tweet. "This is the image of a hero's funeral, saluting the one who lived and was laid to rest by the people, not Mukiti Wadiketse." I might be saying that wrong, but it means a ceremony of cats. Malibongwe. That was the caption of Julius Malema, where he posted a picture, or rather a video, of the funeral of the late Winnie Madikizela Mandela. And the stadium was full. That was Orlando Stadium. And he was saying the people who filled that stadium laid to rest Winnie Madikizela Mandela. Many people are interpreting that by saying he was doing a comparison with Pravin Gordhan, because there were some pictures that were posted which showed that there were some spaces in Pravin Gordhan's funeral, meaning abantu bebengaphumile ngobunengi babo ukuza ukuzofihla uPravin Gordhan. He went on to say, this is Julius Malema, "People know they are heroes, shame. This would have saved the day." When I say this, there was a tent that Julius Malema posted, and some people are interpreting that as Julius Malema saying, instead of using Inkosi, Chief Inkosi Albert Luthuli International Convention Center, maybe bekumele kusetshenziswe itende, because the ICC was just too big for people abebefisa ukuphelezela uPravin Gordhan. But it's not only Julius Malema that was saying that. I saw a tweet by Matjela Koko, who said, "I agree. People know who the friends of the people are and how they fought the revolution." So that's what Matjela Koko said, agreeing with Julius Malema. So this again just shows the contradictions in Pravin Gordhan's legacy. Some people are saying he was a great man, a saint, while some people they're saying he was not such a great man. They go on basically to paint him as this person who did horrible things in South Africa. I don't know what your thoughts are, but what I do know is that Pravin Gordhan is no more. And personally, may his soul rest in peace. I don't know what your thoughts are, but feel free to go ahead and share your thoughts in the comments section. Speaking of Pravin Gordhan, one thing I think people have been talking about is the passing of people. And when I say the passing of people, I'm not only talking about prominent people. We are seeing people that we know, people that we grew up with, people that we know who were there as adults when we were growing up, passing away every day. And lately, it's like people are passing left, right, and center. I mean, personally, I'm grieving today at home. We have a funeral. So that just goes to show that the times that we are living in, we are seeing a lot of people passing. What is happening in the world? And when I say a lot of people passing, think about prominent people that have passed. An actor extraordinaire, Silo Motlong, who acted as Khosi in The Wife. Darlington Michaels, Papa G, Onisidingo. Mapaput, Dr. Jessica Mbangeni, the poet. Radio legend Thabiso Sekwane. Media mogul Zanele Mbogazi. The legendary Connie Chume. These are some of the people that passed recently, in the recent past, recent days. And there's many more that I might have forgotten. So there is something that is happening. And the question is, what is it exactly? But we are seeing a lot of people pass. Some are saying, those who read the Bible are saying, this is what the Bible predicted. We are that close to the end of times. I don't know what's your thoughts on this, and what you think is going on in the world, but I'd love to know. Please go in the comment section and share your thoughts. Moving on from these sad stories and passing of people, let's look at some good news. Interest rates. Yes, interest rates dropped. Lisecha Khanyago announced yesterday, that a Reserve Bank monetary policy known as MPC lowered interest rates by 25 basis points. So Lisecha Khanyago is the governor of the Reserve Bank. Says, interest rates has been lowered by 25 basis points. Many people expected it to be lowered by 50 basis points, which have been great for those who are repaying debt. But 25 basis points is not like an increase either. It's still good. It's a decrease nonetheless. So if you have a bond that you are paying, these are good news. You have a car that you are paying, you've got a loan that you're paying, these are good news. So things are going to be slightly better. Our installments will go down a little bit. In fact, in my mind, I'm thinking, if this is what GNU is going to bring, next elections, I might just be looking for a GNU in that ballot box. I'll be like, no. I don't want ANC, DA, MK, EFF, UDM, ATM. I want GNU. Where's GNU? Because anything that will make South Africans live a little bit better, to be in a better position is welcomed. Lower petrol prices, lower interest rates, if we can keep the lights on, and if we can reduce or avoid increasing electricity. I know that Eskom has applied to increase their tariff at NASA. That should not be allowed. I saw the DA They were protesting against that. We can't be saying we are lowering interest rates, but we are increasing not petrol, but electricity prices, because that means the little money that we're going to save from interest rate, we'll be spending it on electricity. So it's like cutting your nose to spite your face. So we can't do that. I really hope that a GNU will be able to keep the prices down and we can live a little bit of a comfortable life. Because, hey guys, times are tough. Times are tough. Everything is ridiculously expensive. If you bought a 1 million house 5 years ago, the installment that you were paying currently is ridiculous, considering to what you committed to when you initially took the loan or the bond. So, hey, if this is what GNU will do, reduce prices, then we need GNU. We need GNU. I don't know what you think. Please go ahead and share your thoughts in the comment section. I'd really love your thoughts. To wrap this up, I would like to look at the last story that caught my attention this week. Clement Manyathela on the SABC News channel, Face the Nation, was interviewing Julius Malema. And it was a wide-ranging interview where they spoke about a lot of things. But what stood out for me is when Julius Malema said former Minister Naledi Pandor benefited from VBS. My jaw almost dropped. I was like, huh? What do you mean? In fact, even Clement Manyathela, who hosts the show, got shocked when Julius realized that Julius Malema was shocked, or rather Clement Manyathela was shocked. Julius said, yeah, it's your faves. You don't know that they benefited from VBS. So after that revelation by Julius Malema, Dr. Naledi Pandor, former minister, came out guns blazing, saying she was overseas. When she came back from the trip, she was informed of baseless claims made by Mr. Julius Malema on the SABC, alleging that she received a bond for her house from VBS. Dr. Naledi Pandor denied this, said she doesn't have a bond with VBS. In fact, all her banking, she does it in Cape Town. Her house is in Cape Town. All her banking she does in Cape Town. She's never done any banking outside of Cape Town unless there's VBS Bank in Cape Town. Because as far as she knows, VBS is in Limpopo. So there was a lot of pushback from Dr. Naledi Pandor. I actually listened to her interview on 702 with Clement, where she was saying, you know, she's really disappointed that Mr. Malema, you know, was dishonest. And she said it's appalling that he would resort in low tactics in attempting to damage her good name. That's what Dr. Naledi Pandor said. So Dr. Naledi Pandor is saying Mr. Malema should produce proof. In fact, she knows that there is no such thing. She's never benefited from VBS. That's what Dr. Naledi Pandor says. I saw a lot of some people on Twitter actually now that were tweeting about Dr. Naledi Pandor, calling her the person that part of the people that destroyed VBS Bank, that saw thousands of people suffering who had invested their money on VBS, old women and men who had invested their money at VBS, and people were saying, hey, she benefited, you guys thought she was clean. So that just goes to show how what the leader of EFF said, you know, how it caught fire with some people, and some people actually believed it. I don't know what's your thoughts, but I would love to know. I would really love to know your thoughts on this story, but not only this story, and all other stories that I mentioned. And if there's a story that I didn't mention that stood out for you, please feel free to go ahead and share your thoughts and views. Tell me which story stood out for you this week. This has been a layman's view, where we review a week that was. Tomorrow, I'll be with my partner, Ntobeko Khuluse, where we'll be having another beautiful episode. In fact, I am excited about tomorrow's episode. You know why I'm excited about tomorrow's episode? Because we'll be having a very good friend of ours who's in radio that will be visiting us in studio, and we'll be having a nice, good, old, casual chat. So please stick around and make sure that you catch that interview tomorrow at 9 o'clock. It's podcast, radio, and stuff. Ntobeko Khuluse signing out.